And Gary.
Got it.
Gary in Oklahoma. I got you. All right.
And
Thank you. Recording in progress.
make me a co-host, and I'll help out.
You let some people in, Sue. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. Able to walk and breathe at the same time. I like it.
Right.
That's like
That's
a good thing.
Benefit.
Yeah.
Breathing's always good.
Oh, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. It's been a long time.
I think it's a must.
There you go. I think it is.
I checked. Yeah.
Helps everything else go easier, don't it?
Oh, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. Safety Sue says co-host me. I'm up on top.
I can't help you on that one.
I know.
Well, you're up on top of your own, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, is that what it is? You're on top of your own?
Yeah, I'm on top of mine.
Okay.
You're on top, and then all the co-hosts are up, and then anybody with an open mic that comes next, and anybody else comes below that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Brenda and I both need to be co-hosts.
Sue, I tried to get that information you asked me about the other day. We spoke about the other day, dealing with the AFib things I had put in by Abbott Labs. And I'm supposed to get a cover package that they gave to me years ago when they wanted to start this process. And Cindy thought we kept it, but I called Cardio and they're going to send me the thing that they are now hoping to get approved by Medicare, so people can get this program. It's not an expensive program compared to what happens if you don't get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I mean,
what I did with the AFib, they did the AFib, and at the same time, that was going up my, the vein. They did an ultrasound going down the throat, along with the same time that they intubated me, and they did several shocks directly on my heart, and it felt so wonderful to be actually up and about and to be able to walk from my car to the door without having to stop and catch my breath. I mean, it was a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been in and out of the hospital about 4 times in the last 6 months because of the AFib. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. And if you can tell, I'm smiling ear to ear because it is such a wonderful thing.
That's what I was going to say. Look at this smile.
Yep. So, yeah.
And I was recording on Dave's recording, Gary's recording, I'm recording, so we got the copies covered tonight. Hope everybody's been out and be able to get out in the shop and have a little fun. I tell you what, weather. I'm in South Louisiana. Wait 5 minutes, weather will change. We went into an early spring about a month ago. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And we were bumping into the 80s every other day or whatever. This week, we're bumping into the 60s. Yeah. It's supposed to turn around, but I made fun of you folks that had a serious winter. Ours came back. It wasn't fun. But
hey, Eddie, I got your weather. I got your weather. I got 79 here today.
I told y'all it was heading y'all's way last week.
Oh, yeah. Matt,
yeah, well, that's all right. I got a buddy in Montana who's got 34 degrees and it's been snowing all day there. So
yeah, that's
It's 95 and sunny here.
It was miserable last week, but it's 76 and gorgeous here in North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's some green
Next
in
week.
Ohio too. Beautiful.
72 in Minnesota.
Wow, good for you in Minnesota.
Welcome, Anthony.
And look, it's 65 in New Orleans right now, and but we were supposed to be drowned today, and the weather check says the front, whatever, didn't move far enough to the west, so we just got the humidity. We didn't get the water falling out of the air, but it was a pleasant day. I've got these goals that I have to do, or I want to do, and my counselor, and we're working on these things, and one of them is to go to my health club, and there's a 1/10 of a mile lap up on the second level, full walking and light jogging and stuff like that. And my goal is to go around that just one time, without touching a handrail or using a cane, and got close today. So we're going to be there real quick. We're going to be there. And that's part of the deal. When you want something, you normally have to pay for it, right? That's it. All right. I am going to SWAT. Done deal. Bought my airplane tickets. Bought my hotel reservations. I'm working on transportation from the airport to the Waco Convention Center. I think I can do one of those paper driver things, Uber or one of those folks, or a cab or whatever. But so I am from New Orleans to Waco. Getting back, ain't that important. I can get back. But I am set to go there. But part of the deal with management was I would meet a couple of goals, and the walking was one of the goals. So we're that close to it, and that's gonna be so happy when so much better when you get there. And look, I've got I was showing it earlier when you popped in. I got 2,000 of these in today. These are the Worldwide Woodturner stickers we talked about. It's the first major investment by Worldwide Woodturners, really, because we don't have dues, we don't have an income, we don't have we don't have anything. We're poor, except I got your friendship, and that's all that counts, really. But I have to tell you, we will keep track of this for you, because I'm absolutely nut about this. This is where we stand right now with club stickers. We have bought the stickers. We've bought the envelopes to a total of $344. Incoming, we've received $258 from PayPal, $60 on checks, totaling $318.63. Now, that's not a wash thing right now, because I haven't paid for mailing yet. So tomorrow we're going to unbalance that again. Put about $100 a postage in this thing to get them out of here, and then we're relying on a membership to buy them. Now the deal is simple. These are the stickers. They're 3 inches in diameter. They're the right size to fit into a number 10 envelope. I get this. I'll work that out. I got on the phone with the guy and said, "Can you measure this?" So when I put them in the laps, that they fit perfectly in the envelope, not to be all bunched up and stuff. So we plan that out. But I have to get the postage done, and then we're in business. Now, if you want to get some, there are 10 stickers in the package. 10. It's right here. All 10. And they come in a package, and the package is $5. Now, you get the 10 stickers for $5. There's no handling, no shipping, no freight, no expertise, no membership club, nothing. Boom. Order stickers, you get the stickers. Now, that's kind of twofold. We order the stickers and we get the stickers, and we'd like to use them, pass them around to your friends and all that. Got to get right here. Okay. You can order on our website. There's a PayPal link, and you pay it through PayPal. And you tell PayPal you're paying me $5. And whatever address you use in PayPal, that is the address I'm putting on the envelope. Some folks have sent stamped envelopes to me and labels and all that, but I'm running everything through Mac. And if it's whatever address I get on that payment or on your check itself is where I'm going to mail the package. It comes in regular number 10 envelope. I can process the payment and get them out the door the day after I get the check. Okay. I don't have an agenda for this. I'll get them out in the mail. I've got another 50 envelopes worth cut and sized and everything, and computer's running back there for the printing little envelopes. We're all set for this. Here's the deal. I showed you the finances because I am going to be absolutely up straight with you right now. I am collecting money and buying stickers and mailing them to you. There will be absolutely no profit from this entire operation. Absolutely none. I will give you a full accounting every step of the way. Every step of the way. I want you to know how clear this will be. It won't be, well, you pay me, don't worry about it, or it's a little markup on that, or we allowed for nothing. There's no gratis, nothing. This is, you almost hands down, membership said you'd like to do this, we're on there. So check it out. These will go out in the mail tomorrow. So by next week, I expect we plug into you folks next week. We'll be seeing a worldwide wood turner sticker somewhere, your backdrop, Chester and help you head or something like that. Because we want to have other folks joining us. And if you haven't invited your friends, bring them along. It's still important that we see all your friends and visit with them, members of your club. And I keep asking each week, if you belong to a club and you haven't told us what club it is, tell us. Put in the chat right now. Say hi, I belong to, wood turners. I can't make up the name. I did it the other day and found that was a real name for a club.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey.
Hey, can you make me a co-host?
Well, I thought you were there.
No. I see 3 co-hosts right now.
Yeah, Eddie needs to make me a co-host too.
I'll help if you need it or would like it.
Yeah, for some reason or other, I cannot get the admit people on me.
Yeah, you're not co-host either.
Oh,
I thought I did you, Gary.
There's Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave you the permission to record, Gary.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't want.
I can't do co-host. I can't assign co-host.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.
Okay. Dane, you're up as a host, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought so.
Hey, Eddie, there's a question in the chat about UK postage.
Oh, hey, yeah. I've got 2 UKs and 1 Australia to go out in tomorrow when I go to the post office. Now, I did it online with their talk thing, their chat thing, and the other day I got I was told that a regular number 10 envelope going to identifiable postal codes, will travel for about $1 more than regular postage. So tomorrow I'm going to go find out. And for those, I'm telling the folks, if you want it to the dollar to UK or a place like that, include that in your payment because there's no automatic $5 payment. You have to tell it how much to pay. You can bump it up $1 or $2 or whatever you wish. We will use it to offset the increase. And as I said, there's no profit. This whole thing is membership built. And it's to build the world's greatest wood turning club. Voila.
Hey,
That's
Eddie.
French fry. Here you go. Hey.
Voila. Listen, other than Mexico and Canada, the rest of the world belongs to the United Postal Union. All the mail is by the ½ ounce. We're here in the States, you get a whole ounce. So be prepared that with the stickers in a number 10 envelope, it will weigh more than a ½ ounce. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah. didn't get that piece of information. That's why I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. And if we have to modify a little bit, we'll modify it a little bit. But I went to one of these mailboxes of Russ or one of those things where, you know, packaging and all that stuff today to get, we have to get the deed to the house renotarized. And they all have these things up, notary services. You pick up the phone, folks, because people aren't always telling the truth. Funny, I found the notary at Walmart because they do car title transfers or something at a Walmart. Not all of them, just, you know, take what they can get. We take.
Your bank will have a notary. Your bank will have a notary, and they don't charge at the bank.
I didn't think about that. My daughter's the vice president at Chase. God, I got to talk to her about her marketing skills. She didn't have two absolutely gorgeous daughters or volleyball champions. I talked to her about it. But, I checked them and said, "What did y'all do for Easter?" And the others checked back. Well, we didn't have a real Easter. We were at a tournament in Chicago for the weekend. Yeah. Okay. Those girls are getting around. Mom's taking care of them. That's the one where somebody asked me, "Is your daughter the secretary over at the bank?" I said, "Yeah. If you believe that, it's okay. Just don't let her ever find out." You'll probably lose your entry to the bank. She runs the freaking operation. She gave up a senior management position to go in there just so she could raise her kids. That was a deal. You can do certain things in life. If you set your priorities, that's where you got to set them to. You know, you can have all the buckets and all the balls in a barrel you want. But if the barrel's it's falling out the other end, what the hell's it good for? So she is concentrating on those two girls. And they're beautiful.
Only got one chance to do it right, so good choice.
That's it. You know, if you screw it up, look what you leave behind. It's bad enough. No more millennial. No more millennial. Bad enough to see where we're going now.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know, I grew up I'm Italian. My daddy was a Dago. And he had the firm belief that one thing will fix everything. Slap upside the head.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
If you were confused, upside the head. At least he got your attention. But, you know, imagine when we were all growing up, and we're all at that age, we're all growing up, discipline, professionalism, kindness, just being courteous of people standing right next to you. It was expected. It was almost required to function in life. And it's the world has got to flip back to that. Really has to flip back to that.
Hey, Eddie, we're really bad, aren't we now? Us old people, we're really bad, aren't we?
Man, we are.
Yeah.
If I was told to keep on talking, I better know to keep quiet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
or
you've all heard.
If one of the elders started scratching the palm of their hand, you knew to get away.
Yeah. You crying? I'm going to give you something to cry about.
Amen.
Who are you calling old?
So with that, let's start gallery up here.
All right, great. 22 after the top of the hour. Let's roll. Yeah. Who's up?
Right. Well, we got Howard Johnson. Hey, Howard. How's the hotel scene going?
Howard. Talk to us, Howard, please. All right, folks, here's the deal. If you hear your name, and you have to start talking so we can find you.
Oh, okay. You hear me now?
Yeah. For some reason, you're not getting your video, though.
Got my video.
That's Howard.
There's
Who is that? That's Howard. That's Howard Hawkins.
Okay.
Wrong
Here's
Howard.
the camera. Let me get it fixed. Come back to me, would you?
All right, we'll come back to you.
All right. We're all over the place.
All right. Well, let's go to this guy. I'm going to head on his shoulders.
Ruh-roh.
All right. Well, y'all saw Doug Miller's mushrooms, so I was in the shop and I was inspired to do some mushrooms too. And they're not as good as his, but that's okay. So I started with a basic shape like this, and then I used a wood burning cup holder to burn things in a dot pattern. Like I was, one of the dot patterns I was using for the mandalas when I was painting the dots. So, and then I started painting some of them to try some different paints. So I got this one here, and this is, let's see.
A little more
this
to
is,
it.
I don't know. Can y'all see that? What this is
right there.
What this is glitter glue. And when it comes out thick, but then it dries and it's flat. So, just it looks fine and people like it. This is normal acrylic paint with the medium in it, blue and silver. And then I tried one with the 3D fabric paint, and that got raised once. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm also working on an egg that I wanted to. So it's got feet. So.
How did you do
So
that?
I'm not. I like kind of where this is going. I've learned some things with it, but I don't particularly like this one. But it's all in good, all in educating yourself and learning things.
Well,
So.
hey, how did you make that web? How is that web? Yeah.
Well, the wires. If you look in the top here, let me see if I can show this. There's little holes in here. Okay. And the wire is stuck in a hole and then super glued in the hole. And there's another set of little holes down here. And I did use the lathe indexer to set up the holes. And then the wire, like one segment of wire goes from this hole, goes to this hole down to the hole down there. And then they're just draped. And then I used some more of that, some gold 3D fabric paint to put the spots on each of the thing. And I'm not real happy with how that turned out either, but anyway, it was an experiment. So, and I plan to put a finial on the top and gold leaf paint the legs to cover up things. So anyway, that's how it's done. Did that answer the question?
That's good, Matt. Those mushrooms are fine. Don't put yourself down for them.
One at a time, please.
Yeah, it's not my usual shape, but like people seem to really like these, so I said, what the heck, I'll try some. And response on Facebook have been pretty positive, so I'm going with these for a while.
There you go.
right.
The egg is airbrushed from red to black.
That's not actually that's not actually airbrushed. What that is, and this doesn't really show it well.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Okay,
this is the intrinsic colors, the water-based dyes from Martin Sabin Smith, and they're just wiped on. So this is the ruby, and that's the plum. So it's actually a purple.
Okay.
It doesn't really show up all that well, but it's just I just wiped it on with a paper towel.
It looked like a shadow or something when you were showing it.
I still got some on my fingers. Which is how that happens when you don't use gloves.
Looks
exactly.
Very nice though, Matt. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the idea of it, but it's like the next one will be a lot better. So
yeah.
Matt, I wonder if you could use small beads.
Small
and
beads.
Pass it through. To pass it where you have the spot dotted on top. If you have a small bead, you pass the two wires through a bead for a cross.
I could do that. That'd be a lot of work though, because I don't know where they're actually going to hit. So I'd have to be threading the wires. You know what I mean? It might be smarter to just to get a chisel or a Dremel or something and cut the beads in half and just put them over top of the intersections that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, then that would be hard.
Sounds like a lot of work too.
Yeah, it's all a lot of work. The dang wires were a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kept dropping them on the floor.
It's good to me.
Is it wire or gold wire?
It's bronze wire.
Brown.
Yeah, I tried it. Yeah, I spotted it at Hobby Lobby or Hobby Lobby maybe or Joann's.
Put a drop of solder and then paint it.
Drop of solder might work, but then you risk burning the wood.
You're gonna, maybe. Well,
so there's got to be a better way to do it. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm not real happy with how that. I'd have thought these things would be more cohesive, but they're not. So maybe I'll just,
Hey, Matt.
Like I say, I like the idea, but it's just it's the execution of it was not where I wanted to. The dots didn't. Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
They have what they call a last glue. Last glue is really clear. You can glue that wire together.
Well, the wires is together. It's being held by tension anyway. So it's not.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is that way it will be cleared. You wouldn't have to have any dot there or anything, or it would be clear. So all you would have is the cross.
Well, I want the dots though. That's the point.
Okay.
Hey, Matt.
I took the inspiration from. I'm sort of a fan of the Faberge eggs that they're made for the Russian royal family. 150 years ago or however long ago that was. And one of the designs of the Faberge eggs has this wire mesh on it, and there is some sort of jewel at all the intersections, and of course it's much better done than what I've done. But I was sort of trying to see if I could make something sort of similar. So that's where I was going with that.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
The things you put on the colors you put on the top of your mushrooms. Could you go ahead and put that at the intersections to go ahead and give it some different color?
I could. What I wanted was the gold. Okay, so this mushroom here has got that fabric paint on it. That is 3D fabric paint. That's the same. The gold fabric paint I use is the same fabric paint.
Okay.
So it's just gold. So I would have thought that it would have domed up and been 3D, but it didn't. So I don't know why, and I'll have to play with it a little bit more. And it might be that it's not a flat surface; it's a the wires are 3D or whatever. So yeah, I did some test stuff, but not enough apparently.
What you just saw right there was a challenge. Matt threw down the challenge. He threw the idea, told you what he was thinking about, and I heard 7 of you folks come up with what ifs. So Matt won't have a problem at all if you go to work at this and you come up with one of your own what ifs. And let me see what the rules are. The rules
you guys
are, there's no rules. Do it. Just do it. Don't think, just do it.
Hey, Matt.
Look, he's creating that. He's giving you an opportunity to jump on board, not to duplicate his work, but come up with something unique, just like he did. So that was a challenge. He threw down a challenge.
Hey, Matt.
I'll try that. I'll try that, Patrick. Thank you. Yes, Sue.
They have what they call liquid solder, and you put little dots on it, and then put little dots of yellow paint or even a brownish paint before you put the fabric paint on.
Okay. Well, I'll try that too. I think that the issue is going to be how the wire itself distorts whatever you're putting on it. So, what happened is the paint sort of started traveling along the wires a little bit instead of sticking together and doming up like I expected it to do. So I'm not exactly sure. I can try the solder, but solder will do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
The liquid solder is not liquid. It's really more of a little bead of paint. So it's not going to roll down it comes in a tube.
Right.
So, you should be able to get a ball there. And then from there, you could put your whatever color you want.
Hey, this is an open thing. I wasn't challenging Matt to do this. I was challenging all you folks who said, liquid soda, paint, put a drop of glue, put this, put that. Hey, folks, that's my challenge to you. You've seen it? Come on, jump on board. That's what we do here. This is great. As soon as he brought it up there, I thought, This is going to open a can of worms. This is going to do
it's good. It's good because I was winging it, So I appreciate it. Thank you, Sue. I'll have to try that. There's some suggestions in the chat to use the drop of hot glue and paint it too. So I'll have to try it all and see what works and so on. But that's somebody on Facebook made a comment about testing things, and I was like, that's how this works. You test stuff until either it comes apart at the seams or it works. So.
As soon as you said glue, hot glue has a glitter gold glue stick.
Okay.
And that might be the easiest.
Yeah, I'll have to try them all, but the dots would have to be small too. So it's
Just thought.
One thing I'm having a lot of success with is UV resin.
Is it really thick, Joaquin?
Yes, it is. It's very thick.
UV resin.
I'm using Total Boat, and it doesn't really, if you're moving fast, it doesn't run. I'm having a lot of success. I'm actually really happy with it.
Are you using the carrying gun with it?
I have an absolutely ridiculous UV flashlight.
I have one of those too. Why do we have those, Joaquin?
Yes.
I know, right? It's ludicrous, but I love it. It has like 103 LED UV lights or something in it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if I think one of the dogs is peed in a house, I can find it in a hurry with that thing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But the UV resin, I've been using it to fill cracks and things, and I'm telling you, it's better than CA glue because it's more solid, more reliable, and it doesn't crack. I've been playing with it for about 3 weeks now, and I have no complaints, absolutely no complaints. UV resin may change a lot of things.
Does it solidify inside a joint or just on the surface?
Well, you have to be able to get the light. That's the only drawback to UV resin is you have to be able to get the light into the joint. Now it's clear, so you should be able to spray it down in or spray it. You should be able to shine it down in, and because it's clear, it'll refract and get in there. But the reason I decided to try UV resin is because I have, when I was in college back in the 1900s, I broke a tooth and had to get a porcelain crown. Well, porcelain's harder than enamel, so it broke the tooth underneath. And finally, the VA, after a long time, decided they would fix my teeth. And they put UV resin, glued on resin crown on both teeth. And it's all sealed with UV resin. And I'm going to tell you, it's better than the porcelain. It's better than the old fillings. It's amazing what they're doing with UV resin right now. I cracked a tooth up here too. I just cracked it. They literally squeezed UV resin in the crack, hit it with the light for 2 minutes, and then just polished it up. And it's incredible. Now, because I recognize the name of the brand, I bought Total Boat UV resin. And I can tell you, I'm having amazing. I did peridot inlay in a ring with the UV resin. I've patched cracks with sanding dust and UV resin. I haven't tried coffee grounds yet, but everywhere you would use CA glue, if you haven't strong enough UV light, I'm finding I'm getting incredible results with UV resin. And I had a pen maker tell me for label casting, get the label printing, the adhesive backed labels, and do your label printing and stick them on just like you were going to pour it, but then just layer UV resin. And if you think about it, it might take you half an hour, 45 minutes to cure the resin with the flashlight. But compare that to pouring labels and then waiting overnight in the pressure pot. Think how much time you're saving, especially if you're doing 1 or 2 off. I'm having incredible success with UV resin. I'm still playing with it. I'm still will it do this? Will it do that? But I have had more successes than failures.
I'd love to see an example if you could.
You got to give me a few minutes to go find it, but yes, I have.
Of course.
I actually have some patches and bowls.
Joaquin, while you're there,
I got one.
You got you spotlighted, so let's go ahead and do your gallery as well.
Oh, okay. So, you guys saw or have seen pictures of these are for the cookbook. These are the hard maple, Bubinga, East India redwood, and Bubinga French rolling pins. Well, I'm doing just plain old rolling pins. And that's just cherry. I bought a length of 8/4 cherry and ripped it into 2x2 sections and then cut it down. I think I've got blanks for like 16 or 18 just basic cherry French rolling pins. And I'm gonna tell you, if you don't work with cherry, you need to work with cherry. It's such a wonderful wood. And then, well, Easter, of course, was Sunday. So I spent 3 days with my oven on dehydrate to dry a piece of canary wood. And I've got this lidded box. And that is a good friction fit, but it's easy enough that you can open and close it. And I thought the colors in this canary wood were just perfect for Easter. I thought it was.
Love canary.
I think this wood is incredible. And then I wanted to display it, so I did a little 4-axis turning and made this little stand. And I actually had Steve from Temple Boy Turning in my live broadcast while I was making this suggest that I just dye the recess black so that the egg is what stands. And if you guys don't know about Temple Boy Turnings, he turned a banana on a lathe. You should check him out.
I watched him do that.
The man is a genius in multi-axis, absolute genius. A sweet guy too. We're actually developing a rapport, and I really like him. He's a neat guy. And then
He's a nice guy.
My chef buddy, who is helping me with the cookbook project, he's expecting his second child. So I have one more chunk of this canary wood left, but it's so beautiful. I couldn't resist. Look at the colors in that. It's just, I love it. So I made a rattle for the baby, and that's cherry on the handle. And then I had some Spectraply. So just, I have like a big pile of old Spectraply pen blanks. So I turned some beads and put them inside. And that's the baby rattle.
Beautiful.
And I'll be able to give that to him and his wife, I think, next week. And I'm really looking forward to giving them that. So that's what I have to show. And if you give me a few minutes, I'll go grab a bowl that I patched up with the UV resin and show you what it looks like.
Be great. Okay, give us a holler when you get back.
We'll go to the next person, and then we'll come back to you, Joaquin. Thank you. All right, let's go to Dave Kingsley. Dave.
Howdy. In the spirit of Eddie's don't think, just do it, I decided I was going to make a little hollow form, and I ended up making a beautiful little inverse funnel. So I guess
what kind of is that? That's an inverse.
Well, it was a nice hollow form until I made the inside bigger than the outside.
Oh, all right. You got that 747A, that first rule.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's recoverable, man. You make something out of that.
Yeah, well, I took at the other end and decided, well, what the heck? I was feeling frisky. So I made a little box, and this was the bottom of that hollow form. And I made a little cover for it. And it's maple and ebony on the top.
Nice.
But it came out pretty well.
Nice recovery.
Yes.
Yep.
It's hard to look at it as a serious piece, but I like it. It came out pretty nice.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Good job.
Some kid will like it.
Absolutely.
And that's all I've had time for this week.
A great little ring box.
A lot of babysitting.
Somebody will pay money for that. Yeah.
You never know, different people, like different things. So
not everybody has to like it.
You gotta have fun with it and enjoy it, or else
that's right.
Getting upset just because I cut something in half.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
All right, let's go to Mr. Duxbury, and then we'll go back to Joaquin.
Ooh, yeah.
Here we go. Hey, Jim.
Great offset turning. I turned this is a spiral ornament out of mahogany, I think. And then I was using my offset chuck and made a brooch. Got a pin on the back.
Cool.
These are tremendous.
Those are nice, Jim. That one, when you did both sides, did you use that double-sided tape to hold each side?
No, I cheated on this one. This was square, and I put screws in the corners when I offset it into a faceplate.
Yeah, because I tried doing that, and it jerked it right off that tape every time.
No. This wasn't done on that thing, but
that's pretty. I like it.
I make the bigger ones too. And this is a
Jim, that is such a cool idea.
What? Oh.
So you goofed about by putting screws in it, moving it around. That is so cool.
Well, I learned the hard way, believe me. And then I laid this out, and this is actually drawn, so I had centers to work to. But
cool.
I don't know if I can say this or not. This is going to the AAW. This will be on. I can't tell you where they're going to show it. This is a straight turning, but the offset, it's offset 2 different colored woods. See, it's thick here. This is half and half, and up here it's not.
See?
Can you see that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it gives you a background that fades.
Sure.
You just have to get all the grooves have to be exactly the same depth, or one of these sticks out in front of the other one.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, did you make a specific tool to turn that with, or are you using a standard tool?
This is a parting tool and a 1/4-inch skew.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And this one has a mahogany back and a maple front, and then it's domed. When you offset a dome, you get gouges, and these are calculated so you get them in the right place.
Yeah, the smiles.
But this is not only offset, the center, this is the same center as this, but being offset, this is cut straight through. So you can do that in a dome. But if you just hit the back of this, if you move out and hit the back of this, you get a gouge out of it.
That's cool.
Swipe.
Yeah.
A good type of gouge.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
If you ever do this, just do 2 of them, because if you do a 3rd one, it ain't going to be in the right place. I don't care what you do.
A planned gouge.
Right.
A planned gouge.
And this one here, this is just a piece of maple, a junk piece. But anyway, this is turned on 3 centers, so that you get the 3rd center.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I'll tell you, I actually draw this stuff so that's like what it would. This shows you what it's supposed to look like, okay? What actually happens isn't always the same thing. Anyway, this is 3 axes with a 1/2-inch deflection, This is 3 axes with a 1/4 inch deflection. This is 4 axes, three lobes with a 1/2 inch deflection. And this, I don't do these because they don't look like much when you get them done, but this is 4 lobes in the center. So this is 5 setting. But actually, if you remember the jig I made, it had a mandrel in the center. You offset the thing, but it had a mandrel in the center. It had an 1 5/8 hole that you put this plug in, and then you could turn it. So that rather than put a tenon on here, I put an 1 5/8 tenon on here, stuck it in the offset chuck, and then I can offset this back and forth, and I can also index it.
Right.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, it works really good. Put your lathe on low because it's a big block of wood when you start.
Right.
But you can hollow this out, and then you can move it over. This is a 1/2 inch offset, and you turn one side, and then you keep the same offset, just turn the piece in that socket, and then turn the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very good.
Looks good, Jim.
No end to the fun. Anyway, that's what I've been doing.
You make boats like that.
Yeah, well, you need more offset, but it could be done.
Right, yeah. Well, miniature boats, but yeah.
That's fun. No end to the fun is right.
You got it.
Sweet. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go back to Joaquin.
Okay. So I actually have 2 examples for you of using the UV resin. So I thought this was a failed glue up. This is hard maple, bubinga, East India rosewood, and bubinga. You can't even tell that the Type Bond 3 and the clamp up didn't work. That at the seams in several spots, like right there, I don't think you can see it on camera, but right there, that seam right here, that was a little wide. That's backfilled with UV resin. And you cannot tell. You can't tell. I can run my fingernail down the wood and you can't tell. So that's one example of UV resin. Another is, so this bowl, this is some of the box elder I got from the Greensboro Golf Club. And see those cracks there? That's all UV resin and shavings from the bowl. Now this side, because it was so deep and heavy, that's CA and African blackwood shavings for the bug damage. But the cracks are actually UV resin and shavings, and you can see the UV resin is clear, so you can see through that spot. You can't see it from this side. You can only see it from the bottom side, and it's solid. I can pour water in here and it will not leak. But that UV resin with the shavings worked really well. So what I've been using, only because I recognize the brand, is Total Boat. And since I know like Doug Moore, there's a bunch of people who are resident rangers who use Total Boat. I decided if I was going to gamble on UV resin, I'd try a brand I recognize, and it works really well. And on Amazon, you can buy a kit that comes with this darling, precious little flashlight, which is not bad. But I went ahead and spent like $35 and bought this, which is a little bit better. And this is the UV Beast 2. I'm not endorsed or anything, but this works a little bit better and a little faster because there's just simply more wattage shining into your piece.
Yeah.
And what I found is, like here, it took about 1.5 minutes to cure the resin. And what I did was I literally set the flashlight right so I was shining straight through where the cuts were, so that the light shined straight through the resin. So I would turn the lathe so that I was shooting at 90 degrees to the 45-degree angle, but straight through the piece, and then shine it and leave it for about 2 minutes. And the only drawback to UV resin is you have to give the light enough time to cure the resin. That's the only bad thing I've found about it. It turns as good as, if not better than, Alumilite. It sands just like any other resin. And there are other brands. The only reason I bought Total Boat is because I recognize it, and I know a lot of people who use a lot of resin use Total Boat. So it's a brand name I trust. That's the only reason I chose Total Boat. Woodcraft has their own brand of UV resin. I think Klingspor might have their own distribution of some brand of UV resin. And as far as I know, this all comes from the same source. I don't know. So to cure, just like it says on the bottle, 2 to, what does it say? 2 to 10 minutes. And with the light this powerful, I think this is 150 watts, 2 minutes is more than enough. And it turns just like any other resin that you'd put in a pressure pot. Or I honestly, as far as the tools are concerned, can't tell the difference between this and Alumilite. I can't. It turns exactly the same. So the only caveat I have to it is the light has to be able to penetrate. So it takes longer to cure when you have, like, because I put shavings into these cracks here. I stuff shavings down in there. That takes longer to cure because you have to give the light time. Refraction works, it helps, but you have to give it enough time to do its job. But I don't know if you can hear that. You can't hear those cracks. It's as smooth as can be. It's just, it worked. It worked really well. Every time I use this stuff, I'm impressed. And I also discovered this is very, very thick. This is highly viscous. Hit it with your torch or a heat source for about 3 seconds, and it lightens up and loosens, and capillary action works, and it draws down into the cracks. And it just, this is good. This is amazing. This is a game changer. I'm telling you, if you need something that changes everything, try it.
But it requires being able to be hit by the light in order to cure.
You have to get, light. If you can't, it cures. The only way it cures is UV. Now, again, though, I have 3 teeth that are it's all UV resin. So as long as the light is exposed long enough, if you think about how light works, light travels in a straight line until it doesn't, because it reflects. So like in these cracks, if I just hit it with the UV light for 30 seconds, the surface is dry, but I could actually mush it down, right? But if I hit it for 2 minutes, that gives enough time for light to refract and bounce off of any reflective surface available, and solidify everything within its path. I think the time is not a matter of it takes 2 minutes to cure, as much as it takes that much time for, as each part of it crystallizes, for it to diffract light further in. I think it cures. I put this, so this, remember, this is sitting on, this is sitting on the lathe, right? And I'm putting this resin in it, and then I'm holding a light to it. So because I have this nice bead of viscous, it's very thick, it's very viscous, probably twice as thick as honey. I put this bead on it, right? And it wants to drip. Gravity wants to hold it. I turn the flashlight on, literally just go, and it stops running. So the surface immediately set and held it up the line up the slope, and it held it. So I think it's the reason for time is as each layer solidifies, and we're talking at a molecular level, each layer solidifies, then it begins to diffract the light and send it through the rest of it. I haven't done enough reading to know that that's exactly what's happening, but logically, that's what makes sense, because literally as it's running down the side of the wood, if you just hit it with the light, it stops. Immediately the surface tension freezes it, and then it just starts solidifying deeper and deeper and deeper until it works its way through. That's the best explanation I can give without being a physicist, because we're literally talking about physics here.
Right. And then by any chance, what's the tensile strength on it? Does it list it on the bottle?
Oh, I don't know. I can tell you it's better than CA glue. Remember, CA glue.
Well, CA is not structural. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, I mean, it's a resin. So it doesn't say on the bottle.
Oh, that's fine. I'll look it up.
I will guess it's at least as strong as any other total boat resin product as far as bonding. And it does, I will caution you, if you don't want stains on the surface, I actually applied it like 3 times as I was paring this down, because this is only, this is a thin bowl. So as I was paring it down, I would uncover more crack and have to refill it. It stains just like CA glue. It'll seep out. So I was hitting the surface with shellac and then putting it on so it didn't actually stain the surface. So in that way, it's just like CA, where if you don't cover the surface so that it doesn't bleed, this will bleed.
Typical adhesive, it's going to stain your surface. So.
Yeah. But again, it's liquid. I mean, and I'll show you. Hang on. Let me see. What do I have? I'll show you the viscosity. This stuff it's incredible. I love this stuff. I can't complain about it.
Oh, higher.
So there it is right there. Yep. See, it's holding. It's still running. I mean, it's liquid. Let's stop it. I don't know if you see, it's not moving.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not moving. It's that fast.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I think this is going to revolutionize wood turning, just like it's revolutionized dentistry. Remember, they're putting crowns in people's mouths using essentially this.
Yep.
And I can't complain about my UV resin teeth. They're amazing.
Will sunlight trigger it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, okay. So here's another thought.
Right.
I have a friend who's getting into pro fishing, right? And this is a classic lure. And he's talking about, well, how could we make it faster to seal these, right? Well, this is a very thick viscosity, the total boat. If I can find a thinner viscosity UV, because you have to, this is poplar in there. This is a classic. This is a Lohr, L-O-H-R, lure. They're not made anymore, but it's a classic. But you have to be able to make this waterproof, because you don't want the wood to soak up water and swell and change the shape of the lure. If I can find a thin enough UV resin, all I have to do is dip it, put it on a rack, and set it out in the yard in the sun. UV light, sun being the primary source, cures it. So I can run 15, 20, 30, 50 of these, dip them in UV resin, hang them on a rack, take the rack out into the sunlight. In 5 minutes, they're cured, they're waterproof, ready to go.
Wow.
There's a couple of those.
If we're going to call anything a miracle substance, I would say UV curing resin is a miracle substance. And somebody, when I was using it live, somebody asked, is it 2-part? Yeah, it is. Resin and light. It's 2-part. Hit it with the light, it cures.
All right. Very good, Joaquin. All right, let's go to Gordon. Gordon, what you got, buddy?
UV resin. I left it outside. I got it at Michael's.
Mm-hmm.
You just spread it.
You covered the whole thing with it?
Yep.
Okay.
You take a little drop and just spread it.
Huh.
Then you can sand it. This is sanded. This is sanded and buffed. So it shines a little better.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it would take forever with a flashlight. So I left it outside in the sun.
You got that at Michael's?
Yep.
How long did you leave it outside?
I left it out for a couple hours.
It looks nice.
Did it run or did you have to fix the...
Well, I spread it. So you get a thin layer.
Yeah.
So you just put a drop, spread it. Then you just, of course, you're going to get some ripples from the spreading, but I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it filled the cracks.
What was the name of that?
Blue Moon Studio. So if you want to try it, you can, Hobby Lobby probably has one. They probably all have them.
I've used that same UV resin and it does work very, very well. I've even tinted it. Tinting it slows down the UV action, but it does still work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Filled the cracks. I buff it with the floorboard pads.
Buffed it with what?
Flooring, you know, the buffing machines.
Oh, okay.
You get the pads.
Weed.
Cut them in a circle and put it on your sanding.
Yeah, make it a bonnet for your oscillating sander.
Yep. Just use a drill.
Or a drill, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Good
all
stuff.
I have.
All right, right on. Thank you.
Very nice.
All right, Eddie, let's go back to you, and then we probably need to go to our demo.
Well, I think we need to pop in and visit with our safety director, Safety Sue, tonight, get an update. Sue, last week you weren't with us because you weren't feeling well. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. I've been
Brent came on.
Heart issues. I saw last week's thing, and you guys impressed me with you talking about headgear and safety gear, and so yeah, I was very happy to see that.
The wireless doorbell thing, I was sharing that information with my counselor the other day, talking about it, and I'm concerned about my father-in-law in his upper 80s going out to his workshop and his wife not knowing if he's out there or where he's at, and when he's in a workshop, where is she at? So I'm putting together 2 wireless doorbell packages for him. It's got a receiver and a transmitter on each one. If he needs her, he presses the transmitter and it rings where she's at. It's got a little strobe, got different noises and all that. And the same thing with her. If she needs Bud, she can push the button and he'll know he's looking. It's like that. What did they called it the other? One of those. I've fallen down. I can't get back up. Medallion
First
thing.
alert.
First alert.
First alert. That's tied in through your computer, and we're talking, folks, getting up in mileage. So great idea, Brent. Last week, Brent came up and said, "Hey, I got a safety thing." Now, Sue, you got to top it. Here you go.
Well, okay. First off, Dean's not on yet tonight, is he?
No.
You know, he had a welcome. I'm back in the shop a couple of weeks ago, and it looked like he had a brand new trend respirator face shield. I was going to ask him if that's what it was, because it looked pretty darn good. I can't say much enough about face shields, but you guys covered a lot of it last week. Let me say, remember, we're all invested in our safety of our own shops. I always wear my Apple Watch because there's been several times where I have fallen. The first time was in the middle of a hurricane outside, and I was in a ditch, and I was on top of my purse with my phone in my purse, couldn't get to it, but I had my Apple Watch on, and I said, Siri, call 911. Told them where I was, and they had me out within 5 minutes. And I have fallen a few times in the house, and if I can't get up, I just tell Siri to call 911. And I live alone, and so I need a way to get to the outside to tell somebody. Now with me, because obviously they don't have the key to my house, but I have a programmable door lock. So as they're coming, I just tell them what the combination is so they can get into me. Now, also the new Apple Watch has a fall detection. I haven't activated that yet, but that may be something to activate. But that's what I'm saying. I wear this all the time. Now I'm left-handed, so I'm holding the tool. It's not by the toolbar. But we have to be careful of what we have. I don't wear jewelry. The only thing I wear is my watch. And I did get something this week, which I have not had in my shop, is I got 2 tourniquets. You can get them in Amazon. Everybody goes to Amazon. So I ordered 2 tourniquets and some extra Band-Aids. One can never have enough Band-Aids, right, Brenda?
That's right.
That's right. So this week, everybody to be safe, to wear your face shields, to wear a respirator. Especially when we're sanding and when you're grinding your tools. You don't want that metal in your lungs, and you don't want the wood in your lungs. I've got like safety masks out there. Also, after you wear your safety masks, put them in a container so they can't get the other dust and stuff that's in your shop. Clean them up a little bit. Make sure you change the filters when they need to be changed. We love our projects, and I don't care whether it's wood turning or woodworking. Many of the turners are also woodworkers. We need to be safe in everything we do. Have plenty of push blocks around. If you don't have enough, make your own. Just stay safe this week, because I want to see you all next week, and all your happy faces.
Hey, Susan.
Yes.
I want to add too, when you put those tourniquets in your garage, make sure you put them someplace where they're handy and you remember where they're at.
Exactly. Exactly. I have a safety cabinet out there. That's where all mine are. So yeah.
I have something else I'd like to add or to reinforce, if I might. I have a very close friend that stubborn, yes, and he should have gone to the doctor or something a day or so before, but he went dehydrated and was unable to get out of his recliner, and his brother and his sister tried to call, and he would just mumble. So they called 911 and got the ambulance there. They had to break in through the back door. So as you said, with the code, or somebody has to think about too, if you are by yourself, how is emergency going to get to you?
Exactly. Now, here in my cul-de-sac, there's 4 women. We're all single. 3 of them are divorcees, and I'm a widow. And we're all within 10 years of each other. Unfortunately, I'm the oldest. But we all traded each other's keys. So I've got 3 extra keys to the houses in the cul-de-sac. So if I don't hear from somebody, I'm going over there to make sure they're okay. And they would do the same for me. So, you know, make sure that you're kind to your neighbors and that they can check on you too. I mean, my sister, she would love to check in on me, but she's in Western New York. And my brother's in Pasadena, California. So locally, I have in-laws. But really locally, I have wonderful friends in the cul-de-sac. So you need to make your connections so that you can help them, but also you.
Good safety tips, Sue. Very much appreciated.
If
Folks,
I can
be
offer
safe.
Can I offer
Hello?
something here? This is Doug in New Hampshire, Eddie. There's a product that we use up here in the Northeast called a Knox box. That's K-N-O-X. It's a box that gets secured to the outside of your home. You put a house key in it. The fire department and the ambulance service have the numbers to them. So that if you call 911 and they can't get in, they can open up the Knox box. There's your house key. They get to walk right in.
That's a good idea.
I don't know if Knox boxes are all over the country, but I know here in the Northeast, it's a very big product for the fire and ambulance service.
They are all over the country because we've got one in North Carolina, and I also put the combination in my garage door, so you know, if they could get in that way too.
Right, and they also have some that for volunteer fire departments where they have to keep the key to the Knox box inside of the car. We used to put out a tone which would unlock the glove box, so to speak, in the fire department, in the fire truck, so that some guy couldn't go in the middle of the night, open up the glove box and take out the key and then go break into your home. It had to be put over the air with a special tone to open up the Knox box.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I'm going to research that here.
All right. And when we do find that information, we can throw it in the chat. That's where it's got to be, along with all the stuff we've seen tonight on that resin. So with that, we have a good safety minute. And who we have up in a bullpen for our demonstrator tonight?
We have Mr. Grinstead.
Mr. Grinstead.
Over to Bob.
Yep. Hey, guys.
Bob, in one moment, I'm going to mute the entire gathering so that you can have your demonstration. You'll have to unmute yourself in just a moment and in order to rejoin us. And that way we have a lot of the back clutter out. Now, the deal with muting the other folks is we get a lot of backtrack. People don't realize their mics are open or their Jeopardy's playing in the background and things like that. If you wish to ask a question, you can do so. Just unmute yourself and do so. If you have some detailed information like to share, let's wait till Bob wraps up and then we do a Q&A and we'll share it then. But right now we're going to our members only demonstrations because everybody's a member and it's the only place we get them. We're going to go to Bob Grinstead. Bob, you're up on deck, sir.
Okay.
Get me out.
All right. Hi, guys. Yep. I just wanted to show you how I did this. So I do have a little video, because this takes several days to do, and I didn't want to put y'all through the pain of that. So I'm going to show a little video of it. These are easy to do, and to me, they're kind of, even though it takes a while, they're kind of satisfying, and it's not like, I don't like to do little tedious stuff, but this wasn't too bad. You know, you get in the zone of just making the dots and you find a pattern and you go and do all those patterns all over it and then come back and do another pattern. But so it's not that hard to do. And let me get this video started. Let's see if I can share that screen. And maybe this one right here. Yeah. Share? I don't know. There we go. All right, let me see if I can get the volume up.
This is Bob Grinstead.
Can y'all hear that or not?
How I do a basket illusion.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not real good at ideas, so I get most of mine off of Pinterest, or maybe some of those other websites out there. But anyway, I find something that I like, and then I kind of dissect it figure out how I can do it. I'll show you the picture of the one that I'm going to do today. This one here is off of Pinterest. It was David Nittman, I believe, is the guy that made this one. But I liked it. I liked the looks of it, the size of it, the colors. And here is where I've dissected it out. I think it's 192 segments around. And then I guess the columns, and then the rows, I think there's about 32 rows, but it's a two-piece vessel. It has an inside and an outside, and you make it in two parts and put it together. But, let me get started here, and I'll show you how what I do. All right, so I have two blocks of wood here. These are probably 8 inches. Yeah, about 8 inches square and almost about 1 3/4 thick. This little bowl, I guess, is a shallow bowl that you're going to look into or look inside of. And so I don't want it real thick. And I've kind of drawn out here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've kind of drawn out what the shape that I want it to look like. And I made a template that I can use to gauge it when I'm cutting these out. So I mark them off, find the center, either a center finder. Depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I use a compass, but however you want to do it. But you find the center of it, mark it out, mark the biggest portion that you can get out of these things. And then I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw and cut the corners off. So let me go do that. All right, so I've got the corners cut off, so it's easier to turn, get it started turning. I also took a 2 1/8 inch Bosner bit and made a mortise on here so I can hold it. You have to do it on both sides because I want to line it up. I want to double side tape this thing, tape it together and line them up and turn them. So get them round first and then make your taper on the edges, you know, where he makes the bowl look. Then once you do that, then you can pull them apart and work on the two halves. Decide which one you want as the top and the bottom. And the bottom is going to be a solid bottom, but it's going to be, of course, dished out and beaded. Then I want to put a little rosette in the middle of it with a, what do you call one of those little texturing tools. But anyway, that's how I get started. All right, so I have it double-sided taped together, and so they'll stay together, and then I can round it off and come back and actually shape this thing. You know, I have my little pattern I can put up here. I want it narrower than this. I don't want it a true about 4 inches or 3.5 inches. I don't want that bowl that deep, I don't think. I'm trying to guess what I want. I want a little hole, maybe a 2-inch hole on this end, maybe a little bigger, that you can actually look down in it and see the bottom of the bowl, the bottom of this vessel. But I don't want it very deep or very deep in here. I want to be able to see the bottom. I don't want them to have to guess at it. And so I'm going to actually bring this down a little bit on the sides, maybe another 1/4 inch on each side, make it a little shallower, and then just taper it out to the end out here. Come back and sand it. I'll come back and after I get it done, I'll come back and sand it and finish not finish, but get the outside pretty smooth. And so I can come back and cut the walls on the inside of each piece and make them, I don't know, maybe a 3/8 of an inch thick to start with. But I've got to bead the inside and bead the outside, but one of them at the base. But anyway, let me do that, and I'll show you what's next. Right, I have the two halves turned. They both look, like this one. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, they look like this one. Here's my mortise in here that I turned it on. I did take it down like 1/4 of an inch, make it thinner, and tapered it out. So they both look about like, if you set them up here together, then they look symmetrical. Going across here, they look about the same. I did practice or play with the colors a little bit. I don't know if you can see this or not, but here are the colors. And the pen I'm using is a micro crop or micro crown or something, Micron, that's what it is, MICRON pen. But it's supposed to last, so I hope it does. This color, they call it pink. And you see the red tip on it? Well, it doesn't say pink, it says PN number 19. And it looks red, but it's not. It's actually orange. It's this 19 I have on here. The one that actually looks red, I guess they all depend on what your base color of the wood is, because they do change colors. This one looks pink, but when you put it on the wood, it's actually red. This is a number 21. It's actually a darker red, and that's what I'm going to use, the darker red. I experimented a little bit with either putting a sealer on it. This side has a sealer, this side doesn't. I think it looks better without the sealer, only because the ink covers better. You don't have little splotches of white in it. It actually covers a little better, soaks in better probably. So that's what I'm going to do, is no sealer on it. Get it all beaded and ready to go, and then use the colors on it. So now I'm just ready to turn them out. I can put this in here and turn this thing, scoop it out, and make a bowl out of it. So it's going to be like a shallow bowl. And I get the two halves done, completed. Then I'll make sure these edges are completely smooth. Come back and sand them, make sure they're exactly flat, and then glue the two halves together. And again, use this as a pressure block and glue them together. Tailstock versus this. Both of them will still have a tendon on them. The bottom, like I said before, is all going to be scooped out and a little rosette in it. The top, I'm not going to put a hole in it until after I get the halves together and get everything lined up, and then I can drill this hole that I want on this end. I use Telsock support for everything. Anything that I can use it on, I'm going to. I just think it's easier to do. And I can take it down to a little tenon like I show here, and then come back and rub that tenon out, turn it out. But anyway, that's how I do it. This portion of the bowl is ready to go. You can see the side of it. So the other half is going to look just like this. Same taper to it. And come back and finish the outside later. But right now, I just need to take the tenon out in the middle and sand it down. And then this portion will be ready to go. All right, I need to make a beading tool, 1/8 inch. I already have some that, 3/16 and 1/4, and they work great. You don't use them a whole lot, so there's not a whole lot to sharpen. They don't get dull that often. So anyway, so I'm going to make it tonight out of today or whatever. I'm going to make it out of this little 3/16 inch material here. Let me find something to hold up behind it. But it's just 3/16 by 1/2 inch material, and probably about 5 inches, 6 inches long. Doesn't have to be real long. You could make this out of a screwdriver. Just take your screwdriver and flatten a spot where you can drill through it, an 1/8 inch bit, and grind it down to where you can cut off the edge of your hole that you have in here. And it makes a great beading tool. And this already, if you get a screwdriver, you've already got a handle. This one, I'm going to go ahead and make a handle out of this. This was a piece of something else I had. And anyway, I've got a ferrule that I'm going to put on the end of it, and I'll make a little handle for it. So it'll work out fine. All right, so the first thing I did was to make a little flat spot so the bit doesn't try to roll everywhere, try to squirt over and bend. The other thing that I have here, and I'm not sure what they're called, but it's like a starter bit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's just it has a little bitty bit, maybe 3/16 of an inch long, and then with a bigger shaft so that it won't bend on you. So let me drill that hole and get that started first, and then we can go from there. Okay, so I have a little starter hole in here. So now I can drill my 1/8 inch hole that I really need, because I want an 1/8 inch bead. I'm trying to hit the center of this. It looks like it's off a little bit. No, I guess it depends on where the light is. So let me try that. If not, then we'll make another one. I've got plenty of stock here to do it with. So let me do that. Okay, you need some type of lubricant on your bits if you're drilling metal. Could be nearly anything, but I like PAM. PAM doesn't burn. You just want to go slow. With too much pressure on it, you will break the bit. When you come out the other side, the skin on the outside of any metal is tougher than the inside. Okay, that's it. That's all we got to do for drilling. The hole is off, but we don't care. And we're never going to get down to that anyway. You're only looking at one surface at a time, and your cutting deal is going to be right here. So it'll take a long time for me to get down to where it's a problem. So now all I got to do is to grind half of this drill bit away, where that hole, drill half of that hole away, and then shape the edges in to where it feathers up to that drill bit. And I'll have a beading, an 1/8" beading tool. Not like that. I'm not sure you can see it. Not quite in it. Okay, so that's almost it. And I just got to clean that out with the fire. There's a little bit. 18. So here is the finished tool. it turned out fine. A little 1/8" beading tool. But, a little handle went in there great. I put a ferrule on it and epoxied it in. And so this thing will work fine. It looks good. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe you can see the tip. But anyway, there it is. All right, here is the bottom finished. And of course, I turn half at a time, but here's the bottom that's finished. And it turned out pretty good. I have a couple of coats of not lacquer, it's that Krylon clear on here. Anyway, I think it's finished and done. I taped off the edges so that when I sprayed it, I wouldn't get the finish up on the edge. This is where it's going to glue the two halves together. There is the bottom. Okay, I've got the two halves tied together, glued together. I used that tight bond quick and thick. I could have used anything, but anyway, that's what I did use. It dries clear. Here it doesn't matter so much because that bead's going to be right in that center line, that glue line. Then I'm just going to bead both sides of it, top and bottom, and turn out the tenons that you see here, the mortises, and go ahead and start beading this thing. Yeah, I ground a flat spot off the tool with the set better up there. Get it from rocking cement. Okay, I have finished beading everything on both sides. And I went ahead and turned this out. It's 2 1/8" diameter. And then I had to come back and hollow this just a little more right here to the lip because it was still too thick. But anyway, now it's all like, less than 1/4 inch all the way back. So that turned out fine. The beading tool I made, it looked good. Nice little handle on it, but it didn't work well. So I went back and made another one. It's too easy to turn it, get a catch and turn it. It also got too hot. There's not enough metal in here to keep it from getting warm. So, but it was easy to rock it back and forth. So I went ahead and made another one. This was out of 1/2" stock. It's just, again, the same thing. I drilled a drill bit through here, 1/8" drill bit, and then ground it off to where it's made a little cutter for a little beater. But this one worked really well. It never got hot. So much heat, that mass here that you don't feel it, and it's sure not going to twist up. So this worked a whole lot better. Anyway, so that's what my others are made out of. It's just like this, the quarter and the 3/16. But anyway, now I'm ready to bead it. To burn it. We'll have an index wheel set up on here. I'm going to put 192 columns or whatever you want to call them through here, burn through here. So this little jig I've got is so I can move my burning tool around it on both sides. Burn it and then come back and do that. So let me do that for you just a second. So this one I've got set on, I have a razor tip burner and it's set on about 9. But let me go ahead and burn a couple of rows here so you can see what it does. It really doesn't take that long to burn it. The biggest problem is that it's 192 of them. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I might come back and do something fancier there, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it alone. Well, now that I got that one done, I can move it down one little notch and burn the next row. Like I said, this is not hard. It's just the fact that you have to do 192 of it. All right, so that's what I do. I just keep going. Normally, when you get all these burned in here, or even before, once it's beaded, then most of the time on these basket illusions, they come back and they burn either with a wire, depending on the area. Like this here is flat enough, I could burn 3 or 4 of them with a wire, but they really need to burn and darken every one of these rows. You come back and darken these on the side, you can use a set of playing cards, put 2 or 3 of them together, and just set the playing cards in the crack while it's turning, and it will actually burn in here. And that works pretty good. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want it that dark. When you do that, down here it gets almost black because you have too much of the burn everywhere when it gets real close together. Okay, I did want to show y'all one other thing here. There's just a very little slop in this, not much, but just a little bit of a wobble. So what I've done to try to eliminate that and try to make sure that they're all the same, I put a string around it with a weight on it so it pulls constant tension down one direction. So every time I lock it in, it tries to pull it back to that same spot again, just to keep the lines a little more consistent. I don't know if you can see the weight down there. There's not a whole lot of weight, but anyway, just trying to keep the burns consistent. There's my index wheel and the deal that holds it. It could be anything. Even this little block. That's not much either. It's just something to hold the tool, and so you don't have to hold it. The tip I use is a little, I don't know what they call it, but anyway, it's flat, and kind of a spade shape thing. All right, so the bottom is, I mean, everything is burnt now, and I have sanded it lightly just to get some of the smoke off, and then came back and bleached it out, trying to get the original color back. It's still not exactly the same color because that smoke goes everywhere, and it leaves a lot of residue. But it looks pretty good. But anyway, now I'm going to just go ahead and turn this mortise off here, this recess off, and get that down. So I've got a ½ inch in here that I can cut off, so I can cut off quite a bit of this and get it down, and then put some type of a design in the bottom of it. All right, so now I've got it all done here. But all I have to do now is just color in the dots. So it's not hard, it's just time consuming. But it's not hard at all. And again, I'm using these little Micron pens. And this one happens to be purple, but as you can see, it's going on awful dark here. It almost looks black, but it's supposed to be purple. But the first thing I do, when I dissected this thing, I told you that I print this out and figure out how many columns, how many rows. But then I lay it out on graph paper, trying to see where the colors really are. And this one here has got lots of mistakes in it, but that's okay. I've got enough here where I can see the pattern of going across here. With a red and a purple, and then a red and a purple, red and a purple. And the same way this direction. It varies depending on which line it's in. But anyway, that's it. That's how I do it. I'm just going to keep going around here till I get it finished. But it's looking pretty good. All right, so I have finished it. You can see the inside or not. It could have been a little shallower, not quite as tall of a bowl, as thick of a vessel. Then I could see the inside a little better. This one is kind of hard to see the inside, only because of the shadows. But it is finished. It has that Krylar on it to give it some shine. I like a shiny vessel, and you can see where I finished the bottom with some texturing tools here. I could have gone ahead and beaded it all the way, but then I wouldn't have any place to sign it, so I just left it where I turned it off. And as you can see, I didn't make it as dark as the other one was. See how these sides get awful dark, and they look pretty dark, but it sure makes the vessel dark. So I lightened it up a little bit. I didn't put as much of the purple or the dark looking stuff on here, which was the purple color. But anyway, I think it turned out pretty good.
I guess that's about it. You know, the beads are real pretty. So let me show you another picture. Yeah, hi guys. I'm this is Bob Grinstead. Yeah, let's see. How do you get that share off here? Huh? How about that? Okay.
That was a great demo, Bob.
All right. Well, thanks.
Very good
nice
demo.
touch. Nice touch showing how to make a tool.
Yeah, I like to make any tool I can, and that one's real easy to make. And it doesn't get dull very often. If you do, you just grind the top of it or anyway, about the top of it off again.
That was really great. Really great. I like the way your color system made it like 3D.
Yeah. But
it's beautiful, Bob.
Good.
Just a beautiful piece.
I think it turned out real good. I'm happy with it. And
very nice.
I might do another. Boy, that one's really hard on your eyes. You know, that took
That's a pretty piece.
Yeah.
What was the size again on that?
It's probably about 8 inches, you know, nearly 9 inches, and probably about 3 inches thick or something. It's not, you know, again, it's not, it's about 2.5 inches thick. I could have, like I said, I should have made it shallower. Then you could see the inside easier. You know, right now you can't. You can see it if the light's shining right, but there's too much shadow to actually see that inside. But I'm not going to do another one like this. If I do it, it'll be a different design or a different something. But this turned out real pretty.
Yes, it
Yeah,
did.
it did. There was a question earlier where they were asking what kind of wood it was.
It was maple.
Maple.
I don't know if it was hard or not, but it's just a piece of maple that I had.
Yeah, white maple. Yep.
Yeah, white maple. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bob,
how
do you get that design to come out perfect in the end with all those segments?
Well, you know, you've got to work your design out to where it'll fit within the 192 columns that you have.
Oh, is that what you're basing on? 192 blocks?
Yeah, that's what I did, because I did 192 burns around this thing.
Okay.
You know, around the sides of it. So then you work your pattern out to where it's any multiple, it'll go into an even number, into 192.
How did you know the 192 was going to be the magic number?
Well, you don't really. I mean, you're making your pattern. You know that you're going to start with close to 192. You don't want, you know, real wide segments out here.
Okay.
They get closer together in the center, but the outside, if it was, let's say it was only 100, instead of being, so it's almost half it. So instead of an 1/8 of an inch, there would be like a 1/4 of an inch segment out here. And I wanted the small little dots rather than 1/4 inch dots or 3/16 inch dots at the largest portion. So then when you lay your pattern out, I don't know if I have it here running. So many others that I've been, you know, looking at, working on, thinking about doing. But when you lay your pattern out, you start counting. You say, okay, well, if it takes so many, let's say it's 12 or whatever it is between these, right? To get from one side of this pattern to the other side, then can I divide that into 192? So that's what you have to do, is figure out your pattern, how many times it can go around here and still make 192.
There's a couple of numbers in that range that work real well. So 192 is one of those numbers. If you want the blocks twice as big, then you have that 96. But really, what Bob's talking about is exactly right. You want them up in the 176 to 192 range to get good segments.
Yeah, let me show you another example here. Actually, I got two more examples I can show you. That one right there was 1/8 inch pieces, right? So when you look at the top of this, they're about 1/8 of an inch wide, each one of these little blocks. This one right here at the largest point, that's probably that's 3/16. It's about a square because it's only a 3/16 inch bead. So these are about a square here. And so you have to figure out how many times going around here, whether it's 192, I've forgotten what this one was, but however many can go around here, and how wide this bead is going to be at your biggest point. You don't worry about the little points down here. When it gets real tight, sometimes they don't even do every one. They do every other one. They burn every other one when it gets real close down here. And you just change your pattern to match whatever you burn in here. This one here is a 1/4 inch bead. And you can see that, what is that thing? That's probably 5 inches or something. Yeah, it's probably about a 5 inch vessel. And this bead is, maybe 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, it's not quite 3/8. It's 5/16 or something. But anyway, you have to work your pattern out to see how, and the number of segments you put on here has to end up being, you base that basically on how wide you want this widest bead. The biggest size of the outside of the vessel, the biggest part, is going to end up being how wide of a bead.
So you skip every 3 holes or something?
Yeah, on your index wheel, you're going to skip holes. If you say it's a 66 hole ring, I mean, when you look at an index wheel, there's like 4 rows of holes on it, and each hole has a certain number of holes in it. Mine, the outside, the largest one I could get, has the most number is 192. So that's what I use. But let's say that I wanted to take multiples of anything that I could divide into the 92, then you would move it over instead of, you would skip holes to make these lines. So it's, I don't know, let's say that I'm going to skip 3 holes just to get to this next line. Skip 3 more holes and get to the next line. 3 more holes to get to the next line. That's just working with an index wheel. It's easy to do. If you get an index wheel, you'll see it and kind of understand it. I didn't bring one in here to show you, but it's all easy to do. It's not something that's hard to multiply or hard to figure out. But anyway, these are 3 examples. This one right here is 1/4 inch beads. This one here is 3/16 inch beads. And then this one here is the 1/8 inch beads. And I wanted the look of these smaller beads on this one. So my outside, the largest bead I've got here is about 1/8 of an inch square. And that's basically what I did on all these. This 3/16 it's almost a 3/16 inch square bead on the largest portion. Now this one here is not. This one was a 1/4 inch bead, and I've got it wider than a 1/4 of an inch. So it's all just a designer's choice as to what you want, But some of this wood, like this one here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me turn this other light on. Some of this wood would have been, real pretty wood because it's spalted all in its own right. But I wanted to color it, and that's the type of wood I had. That's what I had around. But anyway, that's it. They're not hard to do. It's just It might be a little time consuming, but you know, you can go through a box, you can go through a little bowl, you can go through a lot of things real quick. And I get tired of that. I get tired of turning out a bowl, you know, for after it's already roughed out and just ready to turn. You know, you can turn it out in a couple of hours and it'd be finished, you know, where you put a Farfex finish on it or something and it's done. Well, this takes longer. It takes a little more time to slow down and think about it, or to think about other things while you're doing it. This you can't really watch TV and do, because you're going to get off. You're going to make a mistake.
It'll take a lot more brain work.
Yes, it does. You got to think about it a little more. But even if you do make a mistake, you can sit here and sand that little portion out. Let's say that I got this bead colored wrong. I can sand that back out to where it's clear again. Or if it's red, I can go ahead and color it black, and nobody's ever going to know the difference that it's, you know, that was red underneath that black. So you can make mistakes, and I've made mistakes on this one, but you can't see them because you come back and you sand that little spot away. I take a little Dremel tool with a little bitty burr on it, like a round burr, and do it. Some people sand it out, you know, with even scrape it out with a like a razor blade or something, and scrape the stuff off of it, because it's just on the top. It's not like it's a dye where he really soaks deep into the wood. You know, all of the coloring in those little ink pens are right on the top. It doesn't soak.
What did you call that finish you put on that?
This is Krylar, the thick, was it, I think it's 3X or something. It's a thick coat. So this has like 3 coats on it. It goes on real thick and dries quick. And once it dries, it's not like lacquer. I don't like lacquer because once I make something and I spray it with lacquer, if I get it on the bottom, and say 2 weeks later, I know it's still going to be wet, but let's say I let it dry for 2 weeks and I set it down on a smooth, flat surface like this piece of plastic I got in here, or a countertop or something, or a piece of glass, and you go to move it, well, it sticks. But it does to me anyway, it always sticks. So it's not like this really didn't get dry yet. Well, the Krylar don't have that problem with it. You know, it does take a couple of days to fully cure out, but after that, it doesn't stick to anything.
You're talking about Krylon, right?
Yeah, I think it's Krylon. You're right, Krylon. But you get it at Lowe's or even Walmart. Walmart sells that all the time, or they used to. I don't know. Maybe they've stopped selling it, but they used to sell it. And
they call it triple thick now.
Okay, all right, yeah, triple thick. That's what I get. That's what I get, and that's what I like. It's almost like I say a plastic finish, maybe not, but it is it's a hard, clear finish, and it goes on thick coats, so it does cover real well. But I enjoy that, but that's like segmented stuff. You know, this one here, I really don't like to hollow. I've made several things that I've hollowed, and I've got one I'm working on now that's about like this, and it's hot, and I hollowed it out, but I really don't like to hollow things. So like this vase right here, this is made out of a 2-6 pine, and it's segmented. So it's I don't know if you can see it, but it is a segmented vessel. And it's easier to me to hollow it out as it goes with a segmented vessel, and make them where it's easier to do.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I like that a whole lot better than trying to hollow things. I do have different hollowing jigs, and I've made different things, and I still don't like to hollow. I'm sorry.
Bob, where do you start the pattern? I like that vase thing, or on that. Yeah, where do you start, and how do you develop it?
Well, when you're laying out the paperwork, let me see if it's here. Let me see if it's still in here someplace. I know it is. It's just finding it. But you know, I keep looking at different patterns everywhere. But just like this one here, you know, they developed a pattern, and you just start wherever you want to, and either copy this or come up with your own pattern. You know, like he's got probably what, 10 or 12 of this black line going across here. And then he had, you know, maybe 4 or 5, and then 4 or 5 all black, and then he started the pattern again.
But you work from the outside toward the inside. You don't do one ring all the way around or something. And
no. You know, once I figure out what it's going to look like, then yes, I work from the outside in, because it's easier to do the larger ones.
Yeah.
Down here in the middle, and you're working on little bitty dots. You know, besides that, when you get down here, you might realize, whoa, that's too close together, and don't do them. You know, and that's basically
Notice that one he's holding up. Show that picture again. The one you're holding up. Notice how he gets near the middle there, and the pattern changes. You can see there's at least 2 pattern shifts there.
Right. See, the pattern changed on it, and that's what I did on the one this one right here. I changed that pattern because I thought it got too close together and it got too dark. So I didn't want this diamond back down in here again where it's all dark, because it really makes it dark when it gets real close together.
So there's some free, you're not just going with a pattern, there's some free.
Yes, you have the ability to change that pattern anytime.
You must be totally quiet for a week.
No, it's not that. But it probably took me 5 days to do this. I mean, to the dots on this thing. I mean, there's 13,000 dots here. So it took me 5 days to do it. But it's not that bad. You know, it's kind of like, and I don't like to carve either, because I don't like to sit here and just do the same thing. But this wasn't so bad. You kind of get in the zone, and you say, okay, well, I got 6 reds, and then I come down 2, and I got 6 more reds, or you know, and then I have 2, and then I have 6 more reds. So you take it and you start making the largest portion of this you can do of a largest strip, like this right here. These are large strips coming across here. And you can put those in first, and then come back and fill in all the little bitty stuff that you really have to count. You know, it's all doable. It's just figuring out how to do it and how you can do it, how you want to do it.
That is awesome.
Thanks. You know, like here, I've changed the pattern several times going across here. You know, this pattern and that one there's a little different. That one's probably even different from, I think there was like 3 across here. Yeah, see here's one, I had a white in the middle, had 1 red, white, and I got a black around this one. And then he starts repeating itself again. So here's the 1 dot, here's the black, here's the red with the 1 dot. And you just repeat some pattern that you just repeat across it. But cool. This one here, you know, you can see the patterns. So you find one, and you start doing your pattern. So so you come across here and go up, and you go over 3, and you come down, and you go over 3, and you come up, and you do this panel all at one time. So you can realize where you're at and what you're doing. You don't try to jump from here to here to here to here and go all the way around this vessel. You try to do one pattern at a time. And then you come over here and you do a pattern. You know, like you put these in, and they're all in at the same spot based on this other pattern.
Mm-hmm. And to make sure that you don't like screw up, so you get half a pattern and you run out of room for it, you just make sure that the total pattern you're doing is one of the factors. Like 192 can be evenly divided by, say, 24. So if you've got 4 sections of, however many sections of 24, you can evenly get them all in and have them all terminate correctly.
That's right. You know, and the other thing that helps too is don't color the whole dot. You know, if you want to lay them out here, just put this black. This one here was black and white. So put a black on here, put a black dot, a black dot, a black dot, and do the dots inside of them. So if you screw up, you've only got to erase the dot. You don't have to erase the whole segment. You're only going to erase the dot on the one you messed up on.
And you can come back and fill in the whole segment.
Yeah, then you can come back and fill in the whole segment after you get your pattern out here and you get you know, where it looks right, it looks like you got it right. Then you can come back and fill those in to where you filled in that whole square.
There's not so much brain work then.
Yeah, it's not so much brain work, and you know, if you did get off, you're only going to erase the little bit of the dot that you put in the middle of the segment instead of having to erase this whole black thing. You know?
Yeah, good point.
You know, even this one, you know, I've got mistakes on this one, but you can't see them.
Great demonstration, Bob. Very much appreciate it. We learned how to not only do the work, but to build the tool, which is a handy way to go.
Okay. All right. Good.
Thanks again, Bob. Great visiting with you tonight.
Sure. Anytime.
All right. Just so y'all know what's going on, I'm Captain Eddie Castellini of worldwidewoodturners.org. And we're going to start gallery again in just a few moments. If you have something to show for gallery, just go into the chat right there and put, I have gallery. Dane will introduce you. Once he says your name, start talking back to us so we can find you. And that way we can lock right down on who it is and we'll take a look at it. I want you to take a look at this though. Uh-oh, something didn't go right. We have got stickers available. Yes, we do. We finally made the move on this, and we have our club stickers. They look just like that. Worldwide Wood Turners, they're available now. 10 stickers of $5 includes postage, handling, extras, and all that. It's all one lump sum number. The only difference is if it's an international shipment from the United States, add $1 or so for our postage to help us out a little bit. We'd appreciate doing that. Now, I am keeping a very close track on what's happening here, because we don't want anybody to think that because, well, we are broke, we don't have any money. So we're going to give you a report every time we visit about where this stands with the cost analysis. Expenses right now are $344. Income is $318. I've got probably $100 worth of postage to buy tomorrow morning to get caught up on getting these shipped out. So we're going to be at a lot of balance. No harm done. There's enough money in this to pay for the account and not have a slush fund when we get done, because my plan is I'm going to get some to AAW. I'm going to get some to SWAT. I'm going to get some to the other symposiums where we meet all these folks, thank them, and invite them to join us each Wednesday night. We have a great meeting. And we do have a great meeting. It's because of you. Jim Duxbury says there's got to be a way to computerize those dots. Jim, you stole my fire on that one, man. I really thought that would be. I'm trying to think how can my projector, my wall projector, and I'll put the dots on it, move it around. I did that trying to paint something one time, didn't work worth a darn. All right. Dane Chandler says you need to add the sticker cost in there. I lost. Maybe I described something wrong. If you want us to ship it internationally, add $1 or $2 to your order. And that way I've got the postage covered. If there's a problem with that, we're going to find out tomorrow. If there's a problem with that, we'll make some adjustments. But the goal right now is to get them out to you. And that's the important part. Getting them out of here. Are we going to go to gallery? Anybody got anything to show off tonight or talk about?
Yeah, we got some folks in the queue right now. Let's go to Brent. Brent.
There he is.
Hello, how you doing? So
Good.
I got kind of a tradition that I do one major project every winter, and well, the snow's about to melt here and such, so I had to finish up real quick like here and finished up my big winter project. So here's this year's winter project.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Tar bowl here and such. So
Holy
this
crap.
took me.
Can you play us a song, Brent?
Let's hear you play a tune.
I don't have that talent. I got a good friend who's an amazing musician who's promised to figure out how to play it on a videotape and doing it and such. But this was a tough one. The abalone inlay and the purfling and such kind of kicked my butt a little bit on this thing and such. But it's, I don't know if you can see it. It's got, I try to emulate the guitar as much as possible. I got a tobacco sunburst type of thing on there. The back is light's kind of poor. It's but tobacco sunburst style guitar coloring and such. But and like I don't know if you can see the abalone inlay in there.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So
it's really nice.
Good.
Probably between the colors of the color lacquer and the clear coats, I probably got 50 coats of lacquer on it and such. But they used stringed instrument lacquer, which is, I believe, is an old-fashioned nitrocellulose lacquer on it and such. Not, but, this was a tough one, such. So,
Brent, what are you using for saddle and nuts?
Okay, so the saddle and nut is actually, I poured an epoxy resin ring on here before I cut this away. So I cut a groove all the way around here, filled it with epoxy resin, and then cut a recess and left the resin for the saddle and the nut and some on that and such. So
get a good tone.
So it actually stays in tune pretty well. So and used a chromatic tuning on here, so it goes one full octave, just like a piano, and used the colored pegs like to match like a piano type of tuning and such. So,
right.
So
that's cool.
Beautiful.
It's kind of fun. So
I like the abalone inlay. Is that that Paulo shell?
It's abalone. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just ordered it off eBay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right on.
So
I want to see the video of him playing.
Looks good, Scott. Looks real good there, Brent.
So if I get her to play that, I'll put it on the Facebook thing and such. So
yes.
Right on.
Oh man.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I got.
Congratulations getting that thing done.
That was a long one. So.
All right. Let's go to Howard Johnson.
Hey,
Howard.
How are you?
Oh, we got you. We
got
you
finally. I had to teach my computer Chinese to get to work with the camera. But anyway, last week I didn't get to show my eggs, so I thought I'd show my eggs that I made. There's one. Now this one was lonely, so I had to make another one for him. This one. Well, this one got lonely, so I had to make another one for this one.
Another playmate.
So I had a little one here, and then of course this one got lonely, so we had to make one for it if I can get it open. Come on, there you go. There it is. See this one? Not there. There you go. There it is.
Lord, I want to see that chicken.
So anyway, there it is. You know, he's got his buddy in the oven, so to speak. You know, so
there you go.
But anyway, I've also been doing some piercing, but I've got interested in playing around with chameleon.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
Chameleon powder. See, now what you see here, you're seeing purple or blue. You'll notice here is kind of green a little bit over here. What I'm looking at is solid green, but the light here is not that great. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I did a video out. I did a video. Let's see. How do I share my screen here? Oh, here it is. Never mind. Here we go. All right, here it is.
Nope.
That's out. You see it?
Nope.
No, you got to share it.
You got to press the shares in the lower right-hand corner of that box.
Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. Right here? Okay, gotcha.
There we go.
Here we go. All right, start.
Oh my.
That's out in the sunshine, see? So it's really sparkles and it's really pretty. And
yes.
What type of paint was it?
Very nice.
That's pear. And so anyway, that's all I got for tonight. So anyway, thanks for putting up with my
oh, no worries.
My
problem. We've put up with a lot worse, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Put in the chat what type of paint it is.
Let me see how. Zoom.
All right, let's go to Scott. Here we go. Now we got you, Scott.
Yep. Hey everyone. They were talking earlier about UV resin that's out. Illuminite makes UV resin too. You just got to make sure you got a 365 nanometer light, otherwise it won't cure. So that's what you get from the sun. When I was making fishing baits, we used something called solar res. It's a doming resin. They also make it for coating fishing lures, so it comes thick, medium, and extra thick. And it also comes in glow in the dark colors. So check out solarres.com. And it's SOLAREZ.com. And I'll put it in the chat in a little bit.
That'd be great. Thank you.
So Matt, it'll actually make domes. We used it to make raised eyes on fishing lures years ago, or raised dots on fishing blades. And it cures with a standard UV light. And what we used to cure it was what they use in a beauty shop to cure ladies' fingernails, which is the right spectrum of UV light. So you can get those off of Amazon, or I've even seen them in good craft stores have them too. And you can actually set it over, make a bracket and set it over the lathe, and you could put your finish on and then turn your lathe on and let it spin, and then you don't have to worry about it causing drips and runs on the thin coatings. So it's just another idea for UV resin. And then today I was playing around with Joaquin's idea using a spring-loaded chuck, and I adapted it so that it'll fit on Mr. Duxbury's jig. So now I don't have to use tape anymore. I can clamp it in here and don't have to worry about the sticky residue. And you can flip it around. It'll always be in the same place because your pipe is perfectly circled.
Good idea.
So just another idea I had to play with. So that's all I had. Just some ideas on some other types of UV resin out there.
Thanks, Scott.
Great. Good stuff. All right, let's go to Mr. King. Hey, Howard.
Hey, hello. How's everybody tonight?
We're doing good. What kind of jokes you got for us?
Oh my goodness.
I got this vase, and it's a hollow form vase with a finial. It's up on
that's gorgeous
pedestal. It's all one piece except for the finial, and lots of burning done on this, and it's supposed to look kind of like vines with flowers on it, but I don't know if it does or not, and little leaves. So
looks good.
But anyway, there's the bottom. It's cherry, and
beautiful.
It's hollow to about, I guess, 3/16, quarter inch. Finial is out of maple, and did some burning on it too. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Is the top of it there textured? Or is that
yes, it's burned. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see?
Okay.
Yeah, all this is burned on with a 1.5 millimeter spherical burning tip. And so there's at least a dozen burn marks on here. So
yeah, at least a dozen.
At least a dozen. And so wasn't quite sure how to do the base. So I just kind of did something like that, burn around the edge here.
Goodness.
Oh,
that is gorgeous.
Nice. That's pretty.
Well, thank you. And the color is from this Faber-Castell anti-ink pens you can buy at Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I colored it with. And same with this. This was colored the same way.
Really, with an ink pen?
Yeah, anti-ink. Yeah. They have a broad and a sharp pen. So this is done with the broad pen, the broad tip.
I really like those. The colors are brilliant.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
What type of wood was it?
Oh, this is cherry.
Cherry. Okay.
One piece of cherry, and this is
dark wood. Yeah.
Pardon?
A cherry is kind of a darker wood than like maple or something. So.
Yeah. Well, the leaves are the natural.
Yeah.
Cherry.
But that red came out real well. Maybe I just got the wrong red from them, because I tried that red before, or a red before from was it Faberge or whatever.
Faber-Castell. Faber-Castell.
And it was dark. That was one of the pieces I had there, but it was a dark red. I like this red. That's pretty.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different. This is scarlet red, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's a pretty red. I like that.
Yeah, and this piece is maple. Mm-hmm. This is just plain soft maple we have around here in the area of the woods. So, so anyway,
pretty.
That's all I got. Thank you. Any other questions?
Very nice.
There have been some guys here recently using some calligraphy ink that's red. It comes out really, really red. So that might be something to stick in your memory bank.
Right.
Very good. Thanks, Howard. All right, let's go to Rich Forters. Hey, Rich.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Yourself?
Not bad. I've been working on making some of these jars for the for beads of courage.
Mm-hmm.
I made 2 of these out of white oak, and then I stained them. Early American. I made 2 of them out of this cherry.
Hold up. Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And then this here's out of sycamore with it's got cherry for the dividers in it.
Nice accent rings. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then this one's out of
combination you don't see very often.
I made this out of red oak.
Yep.
Very nice.
Been pretty busy.
Beautiful finish on that piece. Beautiful finish.
Yeah, that's that finish is that bowl finish.
General finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I've used it.
Yeah. But anyway, I ended up making 2 of each, so I got 8 of them going to the hospital as soon as my grandson gets me hooked up. So
good.
Wonderful.
Good job.
That's all I got.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I know this guy's got something, so he's probably typing that he's got something. Well, still need to start his video. Joaquin, start your video.
And
hey,
here.
Joaquin.
Okay, how about now? You got me?
There he is.
Got you now.
Okay, just a second. I just got in, and I do have some things that I need to get something going here. Sorry, guys. So I can show you what I've been up to.
This is a little bit less camera moving than Scott had last week, so I'm okay. I'm all right.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've been playing around with the Journey again, and I've been working with these pendants. And so this, I don't know, this is a Texas ebony one. and I put some grooves in it. I think I showed this, but anyway, we've advanced a little bit further than this. This is what I did out of mesquite. And it's got the purple embellishing wax in the groove.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's not even on both sides. It's supposed to be a mirror image. Sort of like this one here. But
that's nice.
This one didn't turn out. So then I did one with the beading tool.
Oh my.
Yeah,
oh, I like
that. Got a little design, little Wagner design up there around there.
Very cool.
Now I did those others. I did them on the Journey, but I did this one on that Jim Duxbury design, where you slide it back and forth in the chuck like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get up to 1,500 RPMs with this baby. But with that Journey, you know, getting up to over 1,000 when it's offset like that, it's crazy. And so, I mean, you know, it's the best of both worlds. And so I saw this little thing here and had to try it out.
That's cute.
Was that done on one of those jigs too?
Huh?
Was that done on one of those jigs also?
Yeah, I did it on the homemade one. I started out off center here. Most people do this between centers, but I didn't like doing it between centers since I had this set up here. I put it off the chuck, you know, like this, did the head. Then I was able to take this and put this dead center of the chuck and turn it. It was fun doing. I'm going to be experimenting with a few more of these. Just for the heck of it. And
do you draw that first?
Do what?
Did I draw it? Did you draw it to get your center?
I seen a picture of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was fun doing.
Well, being a Duxbury, I make ducks. And I start a whole bunch of these things, but I have to draw them or I screw it up unreal.
I've got that duck too. It was fun to do. But I'm going to challenge to do the penguin next week out of some Texas ebony, you know, where I've got the black belly and the white sapwood. And so it's cool. It's fun just messing around, doing something you're not normally doing.
There you go.
I really like your that jig though, Duxbury. I did several different kinds like that. For different things. Some that you don't rotate the center, some that's just solid and you move it back and forth. Then the one where you can rotate the center and get all them different degrees.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to play with.
Yeah.
I don't see any indexing marks on there. Do you have indexing marks or something, or you just?
I put I put some on there, but not a whole bunch of them. You know, where I know where the 90 is, where I know where the 45 is, and the 22.5 degree. I put them on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joaquin, I adapted your collet chuck to work on Duxbury's jig so they don't have to use tape.
Oh yeah. What you had to use tape?
Well, I was using tape to mount my pendants on his jig, and I hated getting the tape off, so I took the jig you showed the other day, and I adapted it so it fit in his jig.
Yeah.
I glued a plug in it with the right size spindle, and now I can use a band clamp like you do to clamp my work pieces in it.
Oh, cool. That's neat. Yeah. Way to go, Scott.
This is
Thanks
neat.
for your idea.
I'm learning.
I was looking for somebody to come up with something different.
You weren't here, but I turned a bowl, an oval bowl.
Yeah.
And I put that tenon on the end of here.
Okay.
So I could turn the bowl and then I could index it. You can't see it. It's got three centers in it.
Oh, no kidding. I got to try that.
you can actually turn a bowl. This is a duck. Like I said, my name's Duxbury, so this is a duck. Yeah. It's turned on four. It's turned on four centers. There's a center here, a center here, and a center here, and a center here.
Oh, you turned the duck egg shape?
Egg shape too, yeah.
Okay, I've only used 2 centers on the duck. Yeah, how cool.
Anyway.
Oh, that's a good view there. I see it, yeah. See, I'm wanting to do a Sam Hill crane next, and I think that's what I need to do that.
You gonna do it life size, Joaquin?
No, I don't think so.
Those suckers are huge, man.
Yeah, they're 6 foot tall. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. My dogs were trying to chase them yesterday. So yeah.
Well, I noticed that, but first thing my wife told me, well, the neck's too long and the legs are too short. So I've got to reverse that. She's my best critic.
There you go. So
but
somebody's got to turn a flamingo now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was fortunate to have a hands-on class with Barbara Dill up in Michigan, and she blew me away. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing on the off center stuff.
Well, I mean, have her here. I wouldn't have done this if you guys hadn't done this. If this club didn't exist and we didn't have this going on, I wouldn't have ventured off into this. And it's just something different and a whole lot of fun.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's why we're here. That's why we love it.
Yeah, Eddie, you're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We do. And boy, this is where you can, tonight you've seen several tools created, modified, how do you say, altered, gizmoed or whatever, because that's what we do. You see that? I mean, a month or so ago, Jim Duxbury came in and showed this offset concentric and non-concentric jig. It's on our website if you want to see it, with all the other great stuff in the entire world dealing with wood turning. But we all started that within a week. Within a week, we had 10 members come back with modifications to what Jim had put together to suit what they did. And just now, Scott did that. He saw the thing and said, oh, wow, you know what I can do? And he took it. And that's why we visit here, folks. That's why we get together every week, because there's something in the back of your mind I want to know about. Really. Not that. But I want to know about it. So if you come up with something ingenious, something outright unique, we want to know about it. You can show it to us. You can take a photograph and send it to our website. You can post it on our Facebook page. We invite all input from everybody. And I have to say, we have an event calendar on our website. Our event calendar covers everything dealing with wood turning. I mean, I think Scott Hampton's put up some of his IRDs. Cash's daddy, what's his name? Cade. Cade has got an IRD listed on there today. And I like the pieces he turned for that. You got to check it all out. And others. It all goes right there in the chat. That's the only thing that we are wide open on. No collusion, no sponsorship. We don't have any sponsors. We don't get anything free. We don't want it free. And we just want to share information with you. So if you know it, it's your turn to tell us. Now, it's my turn again to remind you that these are now available. This is our club stickers. We had them made. They're approximately 3 inches in diameter. They're white backed, black lettering, no other colors available. And we have these available right now. To get them, if you'd like to support our club, there are 10 stickers in a package. The package sells for $5. If you're international shipping from the United States, add $1 or so to your order so we can cover the postage. We're going to work that out, okay? This is not a slush fund. Every single nickel we process, go through, raise, whatever, goes into this program, only into this program. And if you want more details, check the front page of our website. And that's where you can order stickers 2 ways. Put it on PayPal. You don't like the PayPal thing, write us a check. So the check's there, and all the information you need's right there. And while you're looking at that website, cruise around a little bit. Okay, so you're not a website dog. You don't go hunting and all that. Our website's made for you to go hunting and all that. I mean, you want to know about something? Boom, it's right there. Dave does it for us. He does an awesome job. And I got to say, we're leading the pack on that. And just tonight, we're talking about showing you how to make your own beading tool. We showed you how to modify some jigs and things like that. We've seen Doug Moore showed us how to make a sanding mandrel a couple of weeks ago. That's all coming in. It's all coming in right here. Oh, Miller. I'm sorry, Doug Miller. But that's why we're here. But you know, the real problem with what we do on Wednesday nights, we don't lock the door.
Right. And so before we do lock the door, we got a couple more galleries.
Well, so you know, trouble's out there. I see trouble brewing on the horizon.
Trouble's coming up next after this. So that would be me. So I finished the third bowl. I dyed this in an after hours demo a couple weeks ago for one of the guys that wanted to see how it's done. So it's about 7.5 inches in diameter by 3 1/4. And so again, it's that Arizona ash, got a little small pedestal base on it. Natural wood on the inside, the typical tung oil finish. And then just to show the continuity of the 3 bowls, pull this off, switch the camera around. Here we go. And so here's the cord set. There's actually a 4th cord, but it's a different color, so it's not included in here. But it would have been the next size here. So, but here's the smaller one, the medium-sized one, and then the large one. And then here's the bottoms. So you can see how the color patterns are all emulated.
Yeah, pretty.
And that's the consistency of the centrifugal application of the dye that I use, dyeing method. So
nice.
And that's it for me.
It looks nice.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. And then, of course, they're finished in tung oil.
Hey, Dane, remind us, are you using just a pure tung oil, or is that a tung oil finish that's got like a urethane mixed in?
Yeah, so there's only one tung oil that's going to make a shine like this, and that's the curing tung oils.
Polymerized.
So polymerized tung oil. So your Minwax, your Thornbees, and your Watco.
Yep.
The pure nut tung oil, you're not going to get a shine like that, or the durability of the finish like that.
Well, how many coats you putting on, Dean?
It's got 5. It's got 5 coats, so it's got 2. So I use Bold Linseed oil as my sanding sealer per se. Your sanding sealer is always the first coat of oil that polymerizes it within the wood grain. So whether it's shallot, linseed oil, tung oil, wipe-on poly, whatever that first coat is, that's what's going in. That's what you're going to use to sand to make a pristine finish. And then I'll use, depending upon how the wood reacts or soaks it up, 1 to 2 coats of a thin tung oil, 70-30, 60-40, somewhere along that ratio of tung oil and denatured alcohol, and then 3 coats of full strength afterwards.
Okay, I knew there's a trick to it, procedure to get that kind of shine.
Yeah, and then I just buff with a cotton there's a count to it. I forget what the hell it's called, but it's a real good cotton terry cloth towel that I use to buff, and I just hand buff with it. So
that's amazing for hand buffing there.
Yeah, right on. Thank you. That's what I've got. So first sergeant's on. Doug,
hey.
You out there?
No, don't do it. Don't.
I'm still here. Yep.
I got you.
Hey, what's up? All right. So I'm out in the up. I'm working on whatever, and my neighbors stopped by and they said, "Have you ever heard of hummingbird houses?" And I said, "Yeah." And I tell them, "Oh,
right,
house Bob." And then that night, I'm laying in bed, turn on YouTube University. I'm watching Professor Dean Grimes, and there he is showing how to make birdhouses. And I'm like, is this a sign? Am I supposed to make a birdhouse? All right. I'll give it. So,
oh my.
Here's my first one. That's made out of a willow, and it was all rotten. And when I was sanding, it broke off on the bottom, so that's why the bottom's so fat. But anyway, black willow. Then I tried it again. I made this one. The bottom is cypress. The lid is mesquite. First time turning cypress. It smells disgusting. Now, I'm the one, me and my son cut this tree down in his yard when he moved into the house, and he didn't want them because they were too close to the driveway. They stunk outside with the chainsaw. They smell horrible in the workshop, and I have a ton of this wood now. Then I tried it again with a piece of eucalyptus, and I kind of like this one.
That is gorgeous.
Turned out all right.
Love.
And then everybody says that the hummingbirds won't actually use these things, and I believe them. So I thought, well, what if I made one where you could at least feed the birds? And so this one's on my lathe right now. I haven't finished it yet, but I turned the house, did everything like you do all the other ones. But then I put a little dish at the bottom where I suppose you could put food in there, some bird seed. And then I think this one, I'm going to part it off so it has a platform. And then you could just, I don't know, set it on your outside table or up on the wall.
And on a 4x4.
Put the rope through the top too. And then I guess you could have it either way.
Mounted on a 4x4 post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The blame, if you don't like them, goes to Birdhouse Bob and Dean Grimes. And then if you do like it, I'll take the credit.
That's our Doug for you.
But that's all I got tonight.
Great,
Nice.
Doug. Great.
Thanks.
Great, very nice, Doug.
Tell us about your tree there.
Very nice.
Tell us about your birdhouse tree.
So I got this tree on clearance after Christmas at one of the stores. So I paid next to nothing for it. I suppose you're supposed to put Christmas decorations on it. And so I was like, hey, that would work to hang things on them when I'm, I don't know, displaying them or trying to sell them at a sale. And then I just mounted it on a Lazy Susan I picked up at the thrift store. So it all goes along with my cheapskate attitude of never wanting to pay full price for anything.
Nothing wrong
Frugal,
with that.
frugal. We call that frugal.
Frugal. There we go.
Nice.
Yep.
Good stuff, Doug. Thank you. All right, Eddie, back to you for closing ceremony.
All right. We had a good evening, really good evening. A lot of things talked about tonight. I'm amazed we get together. Whoa. I'm amazed when we get together each Wednesday. Well, I'm not amazed. I plan on it. That's why we started here 3.5 years ago. Then a bunch of guys and gals get together, sit on a tailgate out in the parking lot and tell stories. Tonight, we talked about how to make different finishes, how to use different techniques and tools, how to make new tools, modify old tools. And we're always off of that. This really makes my day, and it must make yours too, because the reason about 100 of us get together each week is not to show off. It's not to brag. It's not to be a boss. It's to be a friend who wants to share with another friend. And that's why we're here. And I invite each and every one of you to join us. And you may hear the term co-host come up. That's not a priority. That's not that. Those are members who will help us demonstrate or put together this program each week. It takes more than one guy, and otherwise you're going to go loopy doing it. We have members that take our demonstrations, Safety Sue, Brenda Band-Aids, and the list, and people that do regular demonstrations for us. That's not limited. Yeah, what I'm saying is not limited. You can do it. You don't have to be on this list. You're on the list. You're there. If you'd like to help us with one form of this club or another, just let us know. It's your club. We have solid rules. Solid rules are you must be nice, be kind, and be civil. And that's pretty much it. If we're all that way, the world would be a better spot anyway, huh? So with that, next week, Dane, who we have on table next week?
Speaking of next week, yes, we got Scott Teague on board next week, and we need to start the demo early because he is going to be outside and he requires sunlight.
All right.
So we need to start. So gallery will be back-ended, and we'll do the demo up front. So folks if you want to see a cool chainsaw demo and a real cool safety presentation on the destruction of what a chainsaw can do, you need to come early.
Good. All right. Book it in early. And we're always open to us. And not knocking it, Scott. I love that idea. But we're always open to a second demonstration. If you have something smaller, a short demonstration like to throw in the last hour and a half of the program, jump in. That's what we're here for. I love the gallery. And I forgot what our next challenge is going to be, our visual challenge. But I'll update you on that before we get together again. And remember, we still collect photographs through Facebook. Now, that's where we get our photographs to put into the newsletter. We get better quality photographs that you post on Facebook, but I must have an image. If you put a video, can't grab it and put a video in a newsletter. That doesn't work out too good. And don't tell me you got a way to fix it. Hell, I'm just getting past A, B, C, D. Okay. So if you have a 1 minute item, we can add shorts to YouTube. Who's that? Dave said that. There you go.
I'm just thinking that we've been talking about having these little short items. They've got those things called shorts on YouTube now. I haven't been putting anything out for that, but you've got a little item to say for 1 minute, an explanation on finishing or whatever it is. I'll start making these little shorts and putting them on YouTube too.
Yeah, I like the shorts on YouTube. I mean, my wife thinks I'm addicted to it. Not really. But if you don't want to sit there and be cooking over a 15-minute thing on how to massage whatever, it's a great program. But that's where we have a great resource on Facebook, and that is our Facebook channel, Worldwide Woodturners Group. And you put anything you wish to be there. We don't like commercials, and we'll probably bump some out when they do come and go. But we'd like to get more information to share with you. And as Dave said, if it deals with wood turning and Dave can make it work on a website, it makes that website I brag about even better than the best in the world. So check it out. That's why we're here. All right, next week, we'll have a little early demo, a little chainsaw work. We'll have some more tips and tricks and ideas. And heck, we might even see where, Doug Rowe can turn something that kind of looks sort of like a what is that? Do you want to, Doug?
Eddie, we got two demos next week. So.
Oh, we do.
Because the chainsaw one is going to be a short demo, and then I've got it booked in with another demo by Mr. Miller.
Oh, all right. Doug's going in tomorrow next week also. This is great. We just back them up. I mean, we know it runs, and maybe at you feel like it runs long. But where else in this world will you get this much information on wood turning? Where else? I don't know it. Well, I want to bug out of here in a few minutes. I don't know if we can get Trace, Trace link back up to host. All right, so Trace will be here, and this is what Dane said a few minutes ago. He did an after hours demo. This is kind of freelancing. Now is a chance for you to ask those questions that you were reluctant to ask, or explain those things that you really can't explain, or. It's all right here, worldwidewoodturners.org. I'll see you back here again next week. Be safe. And remember, right now, I'm going over to the button because Donald Masterson's will remind me, save the chat. Save the chat. A lot of information on there tonight. All right, folks. I'll see you next week. But hey, don't go away. It keeps going. Go ahead. Let's go. What's up?
No fair, Brenda.
Go ahead. What was the question?